Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
He's back.
I am indeed, and this week we've got custom 3D printed helmets, we've got electric gearing, we've got your upgrades to the bike vault, plus should all racing cyclists be using the same bike?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, what's hot in tech this week then?
Well, I've been in Taipei.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You've been in
Not heard much about that.
You've been in Japan.
I have, yes.
I've brought you a present back from Taipei.
Oh, what's that?
Check this out. It's a gold cassette from Recon to go with your gold chain.
Oh, there we are. He hasn't even unboxed it for me yet. Oh, thank you very much, mate. I'll treasure that.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
What have you got me there?
Oh, yeah, a slightly awkward.
Yeah.
It's on its way. It's just stuck in customs, a little bit naughty, you know, that sort of thing. So,
Oh.
yeah. Don't worry, mate. It's on its way. Yeah. Hexo has just been launched, and that is in fact the world's first 3D printed custom bike helmet, which is pretty cool. It just goes to show how far we've got in the crazy world of tech.
Yeah, so the exact fit of the helmet is achieved by actually scanning your head with an iPad, and the app creates a 30,000 point 3D mesh which can then be printed, or grown is a more precise term, into the helmet.
Yeah. Now, Hexo itself is actually comprised of plenty of little hexagonal structures which form a kind of a honeycomb structure. Now, the benefit, according to Hexo, of this is that if you were to have the unfortunate incident of a bike crash, the actual structure itself, they bend and twist rather than compressing. So therefore, the actual impact onto your skull is less than with a standard foam helmet, which kind of increases in toughness when you hit it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. The other cool thing about it is that the actual shell itself is made from 100% recycled materials, which is always good to hear. And something else that I found quite interesting about it from a logistical point of view, if you're a business, is that you don't have to have a warehouse taking up space with loads of stock. You can simply sort of print them to order, which is kind of cool.
Right. So like they're just sort of born when you place an order. Now, it's not quite as simple though as using an iPad at home to actually scan your own head. Instead, yeah, exactly, the wonders of the internet, I'm sure it will be available soon. You would actually have to travel to their HQ in London to actually undergo a master scan, I suppose you could call it, and then your helmet could be born from there. Price-wise, £350, $450 or €400, which for a custom printed helmet for you, that's not bad, is it really?
Yeah. We imagine the price will come down, as it does with most things.
Yeah, exactly. More tech later.
It's time now for our weekly talking point, which is, should all racing be done on the same bikes?
Yeah, now during my visit to Japan, I went to watch some Japanese Keirin racing.
Not Keirin then.
No, Keirin apparently is the correct way of pronouncing that word. And it got me thinking.
Yeah, well, travel broadens the mind.
It does indeed. Let me just briefly explain it then, exactly what it is. Hugely popular in Japan. It's one of the 4 sports you can actually bet on, hence its popularity. And they reckon over 1.3 trillion yen per year is betted on that, which is a lot. That's a million. So whatever currency that's in, it's a lot.
Yeah, well, I think the difference between the Olympic event, which some of you may be familiar with, is that, well, firstly, the pace bike isn't motorised, like it's not dirty, is it?
Yeah, it's just a guy on a regular track bike.
Yeah, and then but the other big difference is that, unlike the Olympic event, the riders all have to use the same bikes and the same equipment. So that also means clothing, wheels, helmets, and all the rest of it. So,
of course, they do have the option of choosing the correct size bike, because one size certainly doesn't fit all. And also, all parts on those bikes actually have to be stamped with the NJS logo, which is the governing body, if you like, for the sport. So all of those parts have to actually pass a strict testing procedure to make sure they're up to the strength and rigour of those sprinters, because they're, well, pretty big guys and girls.
Yeah, I quite like the helmets. They remind me of Toad from Mario Kart.
Did you know what? When I was watching it, I was thinking they could have something a little bit more elegant, but at the same time, it's tradition and tradition's good. But what's super about this fact is that they're riding all the same sort of equipment, is that it's all about the purity of the athlete. So it's really all about man on man, woman on woman. And I think that's absolutely fantastic way to look at it.
Yeah, well, I like the idea of it, but I think there's advantages and disadvantages. One of the big advantages for me is that it makes it much harder for you to effectively buy a medal through using superior equipment because, you know, in elite level track racing, the winning margins are tiny, you know, hundredths of a second, even thousandths of a second sometimes. And the latest skin suit or aero bike can make that much difference and alter the result.
Now, whilst we love tech and innovation, there is an argument it's not really in the spirit of the sport. Take, for example, a really rich nation, they can invest money into a sport and they can effectively, like you've already said, kind of buy medals, although it's not quite as simple as that, let's face it. I'm not taking anything away from Olympians because there's a lot of hard work goes on there, but there is certainly in cycling, for instance, quite a big correlation between money spent, money invested, as well as technology and the return of gold medals.
Yeah, and you've got to think that this comes at the expense of poorer countries. You know, certainly developing countries don't tend to perform very well at international level at cycling. But if you compare it to, say, running, we see a lot of developing nations excel at running, where, you know, and that's a sport where they're not limited by the need to buy expensive high-tech equipment.
Yeah, that's a real level playing field, isn't it? There is a precedent, of course, from other sports out there. Swimming, for instance, hydrodynamic swimsuits.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, some of them were even just single use and they were stupidly expensive. Every time a swimmer put one on, went into the pool, they would break a record. And well, they soon got banned and outlawed because they were just crazy expensive and it just simply didn't have a level playing field or pool in that.
Yeah, there were many. There were many nations that simply couldn't afford those suits. No. But I think there are disadvantages to using the same kit. You know, cycling, well, equipment in cycling has always kind of been a key part of the sport.
Yeah, state the obvious there, Ollie. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I know it's stating the obvious, but you know, having brands involved with the sport and the innovation and sponsorship, that's a key way of generating revenue and funding the sport. And you know, without it, you know, a lot of what happens in the sport wouldn't be able to happen. That consumerism model is sort of how it's built up.
But arguably, the nations that, you know, really enjoy watching it, global audience, that's probably limited to the ones that are actually taking part, largely.
Yeah.
They've got to, haven't they? Whereas if you make it a little bit more open, it's going to be a little bit more exciting and therefore create a bigger audience worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, if you come from a country where there's no representation in the Tour de France, you're probably not going to be interested.
No.
And maybe that's why football's so popular, because you only need a ball and it has global appeal because sort of the whole world can kind of much more easily play and be competitive at it.
Good point.
But I have to admit, I do love innovation and seeing all the new tech in cycling.
Yeah. But maybe there's a compromise to be made. So your regular cycling calendar, the Vuelta, the Giro, the Tour, the World Tour, continues to use the commercial partners and kit sponsors and everything like that.
Yeah, but then in the Olympics, they would have to use the same equipment.
Yeah.
How about that? So
all riders are on the same thing.
Yeah, so it kind of levels the playing field. It makes about the purity of the athlete, but it would also mean that the world record progression was more down to human performance and not down to technological innovation, which would also be cool because it'd mean you'd be able to compare much more easily today's riders with people like Eddie Merckx.
Yeah, remember though, mate, at the Olympics there's a road race and time trial too, so that'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it, to see how riders would have to go from, well, their, you know, top of the range bike to maybe dropping down a tier or two. Yeah, much more level playing field, and I'd love to see that.
Yeah, no, it would be cool to see.
Riders would get on with it, but it's not what we think, is it?
No, it's not. So we want to know what you think about this and what you think would be the best thing to do. So let us know and get involved in the comments down below.
Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking that X Shifter is in fact a type of cleaning product, but this product was debuted back in 2016 and was able to convert a 2x setup into a 2x electric setup. Now, X Shifter themselves have taken a step backwards and now they've made it into a 1x setup, which probably makes sense, doesn't it? Because, well, we change gear way more often at the rear than we do at the front.
Yeah, so the idea is that you can mount electronic shifting buttons onto other parts of your handlebars that you couldn't necessarily do with existing electronic shifters. And it also allows you to convert non-electronic group sets into an electronic group set. And the way it works is by putting the, well, E-link, as it's known, on the chainstay of your bike, and then that has little motors inside and they attach onto the cable, and using that they can actually move the cable to change gear on your rear derailleur.
Yeah, so it's kind of a smart idea actually. I don't know why anyone's not thought of that before.
Yeah, cool.
In fact, pretty sure they have, but it wasn't wireless, but there's more on that in an upcoming video. Now, what's really cool about this actually is how it works across all different group sets, and in doing so, I reckon across different speeds too. So if you had an old 10-speed bike or a 5-speed bike in this case, you could convert that into electronic shifting. I don't know why you'd want to, but well, nonetheless, it's cool and it's great to see innovation like that. No prices as of yet, but apparently you can order. So I don't know how you can order with no prices, but hey, there's a bit of mystery there. Anyway, Ollie, quickly then, part of the Pro Bike section we do here on GCN Tech is actually the free hub sound check. Ultra important, the fans out there absolutely love it. But whilst you were in Taipei, I understood you found a silent free hub. Tell them all about it.
Yeah, so it's from a company called Foss, and it won an award at the Taipei Bike Show for innovation. And immediately when we put it in a video, a lot of people commented, including GMBN, saying that silent free hubs have been around on mountain bikes for years. But this is, you know, yes, other silent free hubs do exist, but the key thing with the Foss hub is the mechanism and the way it works is new.
Yeah.
So that's the innovation there, but I haven't actually seen one cut open to see how it's working. But the judges at the Taipei Bike Show assure me that it is a new mechanism.
Yeah. All we've got to hope then is that no World Tour teams end up using them. Otherwise, that'll be just it'd be like watching a black and white movie, wouldn't it? Just silent, really. Now it's time for the free hub sound check. Right, there is none. Yeah. Anyway, more tech next week.
It's now time for Screw Riding Upgrades by Upgrades, where you submit before and after photos or videos of your bikes and equipment for a chance to win the most coveted prize of all.
It used to work.
Summon the Capron.
Right, so first this week is Philip. Philip had a 1990 Specialized Sirius, a bike I remember. Just about. However, the lack of STI shifters and narrow tyres meant Philip felt he had to buy a new bike. Philip also claims that his shoes had worn out, so had nothing compatible with the old Shimano 105 look pedals. Philip, you could have asked on the tech clinic and we could have had a solution. Now, Philip liked the colour of the old profile aero bars, and it just so happened that the Specialized Diverge Comp came in the same colourway. Now, the justification here for a new bike is somewhat clutching at straws, isn't it? But let's have a look. Right, there's the original one, that old Specialized Sirius. I do remember those actually. Yeah. Big bike, isn't it? Big old unit.
Nice.
There's the new one.
Tidy.
That is nice, isn't it?
It's not the same colour though.
Well, it's the same of the handlebars.
Oh yeah, well, that's true.
The profile. I think they were called Profile Aero 2s. I like them. You could extend them. Got a pair still somewhere. Chopped that middle bit.
I get you.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a nice.
That's very nice.
That's nice, isn't it? I mean, it's not an upgrade. It's just a new bike. Treat yourself. Nice one, Philip.
Yeah.
Right then, who's you up against?
Well,
Greg.
All right. Who has had the honour of being asked to join his local bike team. Being overjoyed at this honour, Greg set about creating a training plan, however, only to receive an email from the team recommending he needed a cyclocross bike. Fortunately, Greg's joy turned to sadness when he realised he had indeed exceeded his yearly bike limit, presumably.
Greg? Yeah, I feel for you there,
I
mate.
wonder who sets that limit for Greg, or whether he sets that for himself.
Fair idea, who?
Yeah, but he said his wife would not agree to a 7th bike.
There we are.
She's obviously not heard of M+1, John. We need to educate her. But anyway, feeling defeated on a rainy Berlin day, Greg came across a beautiful 16 kilo, €25 Merida Ambition. And Greg bought the bike without haste, and despite his friends and family thinking he's gone mad, Greg could simply see the potential where no one else could. €65 later, and a relatively happy wife, Greg had his new cyclocross bike. There it is. That's what it looked like when he got it.
That's the old one, that old Merida. I quite like the paint job on that.
I'd say that's...
The bar end angle is quite simply, that's like a steering wheel.
Who was sat on that before Greg bought it?
Yeah, €65. That's what he spent to upgrade it when it's €25 in the bike. Oh, look at that. Look at it.
Nice.
Greg,
Nice work.
I reckon you're the envy of your cyclocross friends who basically kind of bullied you into making that upgrade.
It's gone one by and everything.
Yeah. I do like the peer pressure that was applied to Greg there, don't you? You know, Greg, if you want to be in our gang, mate, yeah, you're welcome, but you've got to go and buy a new bike. Or at least that's what he told his dear wife. But who's it going to be, Philip or Greg? You decide. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, and one of them will win a K-Prop.
Yeah, and remember as well to submit your upgrades using the uploader tool down there below. We love looking through them. We like reading the romantic stories too. Although Ollie doesn't. I'm just an old romantic fool. Give us a kiss. Right,
Bike of the week.
Oh.
Last week, you weren't here, but we had cyclocross battle, right?
Oh yeah, like a cross.
We had Matthew van der Poel's Canyon In-Flight versus the crux of Tom Pidcock.
Ooh.
And the winner,
Go on, hit me. Not actually hit me.
65%, so a big win,
Yeah.
was Van der Poel.
It's a big, that's, well, verging on landslide victory.
Sorry, Pidders.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate. Thought it'd be a bit closer.
There you go. So, this week, what do you got? That's my Al Pacino impression.
All right, well, practice that. Right, okay, this week then. Right, I don't know if you know about this, but I was in Japan quite recently, and I went to a very, very, very special bike shop out there called Corsa that I must give a shout out to. And well, he had two bikes there that are certainly worthy of going head to head this week. First up is the 1996 Pinarello of Miguel Indurain. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this because it is going to be covered in a video very, very soon. And it's up against this, the Cinelli Laser, one of the most iconic bike designs in history. Definitely, that is an aero machine from the 80s and an absolute joy to look at. But, well, I'm totally utterly torn between the two. When I was there, I had goosebumps literally the whole time, but who's gonna get the win? Vote up there. Is it gonna be the Pinarello of Big Mig, or is it gonna be the Cinelli Laser? It's now time for the bike vault, and it's actually, I don't know why we do it last, because it's one of my favourite bits.
Yeah. Why is it your favourite bit, John?
Because I get to do something very, very important. Ringing the bell! I've missed it. I have missed it. I've become quite attached to this bell, actually. I haven't rung it in a while.
Yeah.
Right, with no further ado, the first entrant this week is Robert in Dubai. This is Robert's Colnago concept with Dura-Ace 9150, a Quark power meter, lightweight Fernweg wheels, ceramic speed upgrades. It's a cheeky little number, that, isn't it?
Ah, it's pretty tidy. You know?
Cheeky little number.
Pretty bling. I'll tell you what, right?
We don't rate bikes on the blingness and stuff like that, but in this case, it's all we're going on.
There's some good details here. Lightweight bottle cages, I like those. You know, he's put counterweights on his wheels, which is a technical little thing.
Yeah.
But also, Grand Prix TT tyres on there for lower rolling resistance. Little subtle thing there, but
some red anodized thing on the bars, probably a mount of some sort, like GPS mount.
I think it's really, it's very expensive, but it's very smart.
Do you know what, actually, Ollie?
Yeah.
Back wheel, massive white lightweight logo. Front wheel doesn't. Is that how they come as stock?
I think that's how they come.
Okay, right. Okay. Well, personally, I think because that's one of the new ones as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it's a super nice.
Go on then, mate. Do you want to ring it or me? All right, cool. Thanks a lot, mate. Right. Anyway, next up is Jens from Berlin, and this is Jens's Popcycle, or Popsicle, I guess. It's made from Columbus steel. SRAM, ETAP. Yeah. Oh, it's a nice looking bike, isn't it?
It's very tidy. It's that kind of retro combined with modern thing going on there that I really like. Those Envy wheels are very tidy as well. Yeah. With the ETAP, I think great sort of combo.
Nice looking bike, isn't it? And like that sort of fuchsia. Is that fuchsia, that colour?
Yeah.
Is it? Thank you. My personal Pantone chart.
And it's a two-tone design as well. Different colour on the opposite side.
Is that Celeste? No, it's not, is it?
No.
But I do like the head tube badge on that bike as well.
Oh, he's got a Chris King headset as well. Oh.
Yeah. That is, nice or super nice? It's got to be a super nice.
I think it's super nice.
Super nice. All right, super nice. You've missed that, haven't you? I can tell. Look at him. He can't control himself. Right. Who's this?
Oh, right. This is...
You can try and say where it's from.
Well, this is Jason and it's his retreat about 20 kilometres outside of Newcastle upon Tyne.
Not California.
Well, yeah,
Newcastle, one of my favourite places.
Newcastle never looked like that in Biker Grove.
No, I think it's just some clever photoshopping.
That I've got a lot of time for that. I like that classic Super 6 Evo frame with that mirrored silver Cannondale logo.
Yeah. Physique finishing kit, it looks like. So, what's he going to get? Nice or super nice? Because that's... Well, I didn't know Newcastle would look like that. Personally, I think it's super nice, but has to be a majority vote, doesn't it? Can't be 50-50. You're going to break his dreams.
No, I'm a fan of it.
Go on then.
That is a super nice.
Why I bet. Get a metro later, man. Sorry about that. We don't normally, but it's a cracking place. Yeah. Right. This is Rayner's Pinarello Prince Extreme from 2002. It's got a complete Campagnolo Super Record group set. Now that's one of those unusual Pinarello chain sets as well, isn't it? Check it out. Wheels, they're those limited edition Tour de France Ciriums.
Or Ciriums.
Ciriums. Yeah, everyone used to call them Ciriums, didn't they? Got your Ciriums on, mate.
Yeah.
With a yellow spoke, just a single yellow spoke. What do you think about it though? There's something about that bike I don't like.
Well, it's been around a bit, that bike. It's quite an old bike. You would have thought by now he's decided on his steerer height.
Oh yeah, the old steerer. And also the cranks, they should be in the correct position.
Saddle angle.
We've gone through this time and time again.
The saddle angle is just,
The bar tape looks very, very thick.
Well, the bar tape looks a bit, well, I don't know, it's bulging in places. I don't understand what's going on there.
And the stand on the front wheel.
Stand on the front wheel.
Rayner.
Got to that.
Rayner.
So close. So close.
Rayner, nice bike. Right.
Nice. Yep.
Final one this week.
So he's Jerry in Singapore.
I've never been to Singapore. Have you ever been?
No, I'd love to go.
I'd love to go as well. Jerry.
Jerry's got his Red Hook Crit Edition Specialised Alley Sprint. Here it is. Great backdrop.
That is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a crazy backdrop.
It's
It looks like a dinosaur, those two glass things, and then you've got that building that looks like it's got like a
it's got that garden on the top, hasn't it?
Yeah, although it looks like a bullet train. You get those in Japan. Did you know I went to Japan?
I really like I've said it before, but I'm a big fan of the LA Sprint. I think it really functional but cool looking aluminium bike that to the uneducated person, it quite easily fools them and makes them think it's a carbon bike. But no, it's aluminium. It's
a beauty, isn't it? And one of our mates, Alec Briggs, he rides on one of those, doesn't he?
He does,
actually. Yeah, one of our good friends. And I think the colours of it just work brilliantly. And I mean, what a backdrop as well.
Oh, it's a cracker, that one.
Yeah.
That's a super nice for me. Go on,
and it's a super nice for me too. Oh, you've missed them. You can't control it. You absolutely love it when I ring my bell. Right, so you know what to do. Leave your nominations down there using the uploader tool in the description below, and maybe one day you'll make it into the bike vault. So there we are, nearly time for the end of the show, but don't go anywhere just yet because good news, because over on the GCN shop at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com, we've got a big sale on. You've got to be quick, there's up to 50% off of selected items, limited to, so you've got to be quick there, press that buy button so you make sure you don't miss out on anything.
Well, when it's gone, but you can get your Christmas shopping in early, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And we've got loads of cool stuff coming up on the channel this week in between now and the next tech show, including, but not limited to, we've got the, Science of Cornering video coming up.
Yeah.
And also an incredibly mega light bike, possibly one of the lightest bikes in the world that I went to visit and do a video on, so I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah.
Now, Ollie, what on earth is this thing above us?
Oh, that's the rim brake extinction clock from last week.
Where does it plug in anyway?
I'm not sure.
Hang on, rim brake extension clock?
Yeah, we've got approximately 1 year and 51 weeks until rim brakes become extinct.
All right, where's my bikes then?
The asteroid's going to destroy them all.
Cool. I'll make sure I stay out of the way then. Right, so you know what to do. Like and share this video with your friends, give it a big old thumbs up, and well, what video should they watch now? How about that bearing special? Everything you need to know about bearings. Click, well, not up there, because that's that clock. You want to avoid that at all costs. Click just down here.